open source tool, which is license free, and we will see how we can utilize this tool for simulating the complex fluids. So first, I will start with the basic introduction. I think most of the people have must be familiar with these kind of introduction in the past lectures also, but I will give you the brief introduction. So basically, what are complex fluids? So let me introduce to the first question that comes into mind, that what are complex fluids? We have two categories of fluids in this case, that is Newtonian and non-Newtonians. First, for example, we have this plate, parallel plate structure. So if we place a fluid inside these two parallel plates, and now suppose you are applying a force A on the upper plate, and basically you are trying to move the upper plate with some velocity U by applying force, and the plate has some area. On applying that force, the fluid plays some deformation, and that we quantify in terms of time, this as velocity gradient. Okay, so force per unit area is equal to tau. The tau is defined it as a stress in this term. So tau is directly proportional to the rate of deformation, that is du by dy, velocity gradient. So mu here is a universal constant, that is a velocity. So this is basically known as a Newton's law of viscosity. So if this, in simple term, if we define what are Newtonian, so this term, this particular thing, we can call it as a Newtonian flux. If this basically, so we can see that velocity gradient and tau are linear in relationship with each other. So this is called as Newtonian fluids. So if in simple terms, when we called it as a non-Newtonian and complex fluids, if this relationship is non-linear, then we can call it as a non-Newtonian fluids. So how we can, the next question comes, how we can define it as it is linear or non-linear. So for that purpose, we use a rheometry study. So this is basically a rheometry kind of thing, equipment, which is used to study the relationship between the stress and strain, whether we can define this relationship as linear or non-linear. So for using the rheometry or rheometer, we have a different kind of plates, that is geometries are used, that is concentric cylinder, double cone plate, and so many things are there. So all these geometries create this kind of flow, which we define it as a that is a parallel plate, flow between the parallel plates. So this is a simple shear flow. Then if you apply some kind of torque on that, then you can measure the velocity gradient. So here we can perform the test by preparing simple samples, like in simple cases, we define carbopol as non-Newtonian fluid or complex fluid. We have taken simple kind of prepare some small samples in different concentrations, and we placed it in between these particular geometries, and different kind of data will be available by running this through this rheometer. Okay. So basically, complex fluids, again, are the mixtures that have a coexistence between the two phases. That is a solid liquid, that is a suspension or solution of macromolecules such as polymers. We have solid and gas, that is in the regular form, liquid emulsions also. So here we have two things on the left and right side. If we have already defined that case of fluid between the two parallel plates, which is a Newtonian kind of plate. This is basically known for the purely viscous fluids. Okay, so if we come to the rheology of complex fluids, that we have a different category of fluids which involve elasticity also. So we can combinedly call it as a viscoelastic fluids, or we can call it as a viscoelastic fluids or complex fluids. Okay. So different kind of rheological properties are there. Basically, rheology is the study of flow or deformation and properties of the relevance. So there are two type of behavior will be there: time dependent behavior and time independent behavior. So in case of time, three type of behavior we have. three different categories like shear thickening, shear thinning, and yield stress fluids. If you know the term of power law, that is N. If for shear thinning, it's less than one, shear thickening is greater than one, and if we have a value of N is equal to one, that is called as Newtonian fluids. So there are two kind of time-dependent behavior also, which you have already studied in your past lectures. That is thixotropy and rheopexy. So there are different kind of constitutive models for the complex fluids. Basically, in the first category, we have a generalized Newtonian fluids models. And with examples of Power-Law model, Cryo-Yasuda model, Herschel-Buckley model, these kind of generalized Newtonian models, they don't include the elastic effect. They are generally basically for the viscous fluid. But in this case, in the previous case, in the Newtonian cases, the viscosity is constant. But in this case, the viscosity is dependent on the rate of deformation. So as we go on varying the rate of deformation, the viscosity value will be varying. So here the example of power law model, which is having a K, the flow consistency index, and N is a power law index. So that its value depends upon the value of this particular power law model depends on the value of N, that is power law index, that is 1, greater than 1 or is equal to 1. So this one, if we're coming to the models for the constitutive model for the complex fluids, then we have a first term that is that model comes in into picture, that is a Maxwell model. So Maxwell model is a kind of model which includes that basically originate with the for the gases, but it works for the liquids also, and it covers basically the viscous response and elastic response. Basically, it model cover the viscoelastic effect of the fluids. But in this case, in this Maxwell model, there is an error which will be sorted by the viscoelastic model, that is alternate B model. Alternate B model is basically the revised version of that particular Maxwell model. But Maxwell model was the basis of constitutive model for the complex fluids. In this case, in the previous case, in the Maxwell model, the time frame variant was not available in that case, because frame variant means if we want to check the properties of something which is in that in the particular we check the properties in the particular room, or we can check the properties in during the time travel. So that will not be constant. So in alternate B model, there's a term called frame variant which is included. And on this particular thing, there's a lecture available by the kinetic theory of polymers by Professor Ravi from the Monash University. You can check this link. And these are the categories of viscoelastic model, which is solved in the standard extra tension or conformation tensor variables. So first come with the alternate B model, viscous model, PTT model, different kind of fluids. These models are applicable. So this is basically the evolution of the models for the complex fluids. First comes the Bingham, then the Herschel-Buckley, then the alternate B model, Saramito model, and Saramito-Herschel-Buckley model. In this case, we are basically which I am working on is the how to see the properties of viscoplastic models. So this is the Saramito log model. So this is the overview of what categories of models comes under these particular generalized Newtonian models, viscoelastic models, elasto-viscoplastic models. That is the most important one is Saramito-Herschel-Buckley model. That is a combination of Saramito and Herschel-Buckley. So let's come to this rheological studies using OpenFOAM. So OpenFOAM is basically open source, like open field operation and manipulation. That's the open source software we can use for the computational of different kind of fluids, or we can use different kind of models in this case. So it was basically originated in 1980s in the Imperial College, UK. So open source CFD toolbox, all the scripting in OpenFOAM is written in the C++. So what are the operating systems we can use it on? Linux. Linux is basically the original development and best compatibility we can use. But if we have a Windows, then you can use it it for the by installing the Ubuntu also. So uh, basic versions are also available, but OpenFOAM is also available in the extended version. That is, for example, if I have a OpenFOAM of series from 4 to almost 12 or something, and we have extended form also V22 to different categories of extended forms also. So these are two basic organizations or website from where you can download this open form on free basis, and all the steps, all the installation steps and all these things are available on these particular websites. Even with some tutorial cases are there. So why we are introducing this open form? So basically, the open form has advantages over commercial codes. Open source, it is like open source and free, so no license fees required. You can even use this open form in your laptops also with the almost minimum 16 GB of RAM, and you must have that Ubuntu installation in your like Windows operating system in your that particular laptop. So advantages, there are more advantages in this case. So this is basically the open form applications and course structure. So there are different kind of solvers are available, and different kind of utilities are available. That is basically if we talk about the open form like in detail, it will include so many things. But the overview is like if we want to solve a particular case, so we have these three categories of files will be available that I will show you later. So there will be a zero file, there will be a constant file, there will be a system file. So zero file is basically used for initializing the values. Suppose if we want to initialize some velocity, pressure, temperature, epsilon values, and also all different kind of properties will be there. So in the constant folder, we have some transport properties, we have some turbulence properties, whether our model is the laminar or turbulence or what kind of things will be available. In the transfer properties, this is the main file in this case where we define the fluid properties. Along with the fluid properties, we define basically the kind of models we are using. So if I want to use that Herschel-Buckley or Pavlov fluid model, so I will place that particular model in that particular transfer property, or in case of Ryu tool, we place this file is replaced by the constitutive properties. Okay, I will show you later. So when we give the command, the polymesh will be generated. So all the command, whatever the properties you have defined, that faces, neighbors or points, that will come into that polymesh. It will not be available before, but after giving the command, there will be a folder generated that is polymesh. So last one is the system folder. System which will having the FV scheme, FV solutions. That is what kind of tolerance we are giving, what kind of running time will be given, what kind of time step is there, and what solver is there basically. So when we come to simulating the complex fluids, so in open form, basically we have a basic models. In the previous case, if I talk about these Pavala model, Cryo-Yusufa model, or Herschel-Buckley model, these are the generalized Newtonian models which are available. Even that Maxwell model, Aldred-Weed models, these are available in the open form only. But in case of like if I want to solve these particular elasto-viscoplastic models like Saramito, Herschel-Buckley, or two-phase problems, or if I talk about the multi-phase problems which are dealing with the complex fluids, then this open form simply will not work. So it will not have these kind of models inbuilt in that. So for that purpose, we need to introduce, or we need to like add on the Ryu tool in that. So Ryu tool is basically this is a particular site from where you can download the Ryu tool specifically for dealing with the complex fluids for advanced models like Saramito, Herschel-Buckley or kind of things. And this is available on the GitHub. And this is having a feature of this is only compatible with the thing which is need to be considered is it is only compatible with the OpenFOAM version 7 and 9. It's already mentioned here, that is 7 and 9. Okay, so all the information is available here. Some papers the theory behind single phase flow solvers or external libraries also. These particular journal publications are there, which will give you the more information about the RU tool. Okay. So these are some examples which we can solve in that particular view tool, that is pressure driven flows, electrically driven flows, non-isothermal flows, pressure driven two-phase flows. Different examples are there. So these are some steps which I come across while installing the Ryu tool. So I usually I face lots of error, lots of error, but after so many trials and hit and trials, I come to this conclusion that this is the basic steps which you can save, or you can have a picture of that. You can install this if you have an open form of version 7 and 9. Then after installing that open form, you can follow these steps and you can install the Ryu tool in that particular open form. So studied there. I would like to show you some hands-on on the open form. So this in case of multi-phase flow. So I basically worked on the bubble rise dynamic. So I similarly, the first part is I performed experimentals on the bubble rise dynamics in the carbopol solution. So carbopol is basically a kind of polymer that is used in the labs for the study of complex fluids. So basically, we prepare carbopol in that particular lab, and then after that, we took that sample and we performed the rheological studies on that, and we have that stress or strain graph in that case, and we have some data from there where we can generate. If I in the origin I plot that particular data, and we have that values of k, then your values of n, power line x, and tau values, which we need further for simulating our particular case. So I divide this particular case in two parts. First, I deal with the two-phase problem, and then I converted this problem into multi-phase flows. So this motivation comes from this particular case, that is basically the extraction of oil problem of basically extraction of oil sands in Alberta, Canada, which is like produces trailing ponds containing distinct stratified layers, which is having which are the main source of greenhouse gases emissions, primarily the methane and carbon dioxide. So it is having three layers actually. So that is the MFT, TFT, and that decomposition of organic matters. So this basically demonstrates something like a non-Newtonian case, and we just want to replicate this case in a laboratory to study the how how a particular bubble, air bubble kind of thing, because that methane and carbon dioxide is behaving like a bubble, air bubble or something. So how it will travel through that particular layers of that characterizes the yield stress characteristics, or we can say it as non-Newtonian fluids. So our objective was to experimentally first investigate the rise of gas bubbles through a vertical column that containing a single and immiscible layer of water or glycerol, and then to the carbopol solution. First, I took that carbopol solution simple in a vertical column. Then the second case, for making it a multi-phase system, we put carbopol in the bottom side and make a layer of water on the upper side. So to make a three-phase problem. So then we characterize the interfacial deformation, bubble shape, velocity, and detachment behavior at the fluid interface. And in the third part, we utilize that open form with the RU tool just to took that elasto viscoplastic rheology, check using Saramito-Hershey-Buckley model. That is basically inbuilt in that RU tool using with the RU interform. RU interform is basically Saramito-Hershey-Buckley is a model, but the RU interform is basically the solver to simulate the two-phase problems. Okay, so for the multi-phase problem, then again the problem comes. We don't have that particular solver for solving that multi-phase problems in the Ryu tool. Actually, in the open form simple, we have that multi-phase flow solvers, but that is not used. That we can't use for the complex fluids. That we can use for the normal fluids. But in this, for that case, we need to have some different solver modified by some researchers in the Greece, that is named by Rio Multi-Fluid Interform Plus. That can solve the multi-flow problem in that particular Rio tool, but it's not originally available in the Rio tool. So what I did was just to I'm trying to like I already did that part, but I'm more like in detailing in that, try to compile and the linking that solve with the Ryu tool just to solve the multi-phase problem that involves the complex fluids. So then we compare the experimental results with the numerical simulation to validate the model and extract flow physics. So this was the basic problem. Like the first case we did was buoyancy-driven rise of bubble through a elasto-viscoplastic fluids. That is a carbobubble in our case. So these are some properties which we took from some papers. What we need in our particular constant file, that is stress, then consistency index, that is power law, and modulus. So these are different properties at different concentrations. This is 0.09 is a concentration of carbopol which they have used, then at 0.01 percentage, and then again some other person did that part. So this RE effective is basically the diameter of that particular bubble. In this case, we have a vertical column in which we have a fluid placed in a full column, and we inserted a bubble of air in that case. So we just varied the diameter of that particular bubble. That depends on the needle. In experimental part, it depends upon the size of the needle. Generally, it was of 14 mm or 16 mm. But in numerical simulation, we have to took this value as a uh, uh, effective radius in terms of in the 16.23 mm or 4 mm or 8.6 mm. So we tried in that sense. So this was the experimental setup. We have a vertical acrylic column that is of 60 centimeter tall. So we have in the first case, we filled that particular column with a single layer carbopol, and as you can see that the bubble is the shape of teardrop. That is already we can say that already established things that when there's this shape of the bubble is due to the elastic effect of this particular carbopol solution, because if we call this particular fluid is as elastoviscoplastic, so this particular fluid is having some elasticity. So when we inject a bubble through this needle, using we have that particular needle injection is there. So at different flow rates, we injected the bubbles, and this come out, and it is having the shape of teardrop. But in the second case, when we place a carbopol solution in the bottom part and the water solution as a top part. So when we did that experiment, it comes through this particular up to this interface. It is having that particular teardrop shape, but after that, it converted into that Newtonian shape, like a circle shape, because the upper fluid is Newtonian and the lower fluid is non-Newtonian. So this experiment we have did, and just we have measured the outcomes like rising velocity. For that purpose, we use that PIV in that case. So for bubble deformation, we checked, and we see that interfacial behavior in this case. So this is what the basic setup in this case. So you can clearly see that at different concentration, the shape of that bubble is varying. We have this 0.13 weight% carbopol and 0.15 in this case elongated bubble is there. The elongated teardrop shape bubble is there, and when we placed it in the that multi-phase fluid, then you can see that after crossing that interface, its shape is changing. So it comes behave. It's like a Newtonian category of fluid. So these are some simulation results in that case. So when we simulated using the open form, it is a simple carbopol solution around red color, and this one is a bubble in our open form case, that particular diameter, and this was the result published by some experimental results. And again, we have this numerical representation of bubble shape of this size and experimental of this size that is compatible with each other. This was the initial bubble when we is particularly placed at the initial, and this was the result published by some papers. So these are some studies. These are some results from that particular case. In one case, we took this particular case as a unconfined domain. As the bubble rises through, it is having some stress kind of thing on that particular fluid, and changes its shape to the dome size. So this is basically the stress curve. And in case of confined, for this particular diameter of the radius of that particular bubble, then again we kept this size as small. We took that radius of the bubbles as small size, and again in the confined domain, this is for 4 mm again, and these were the results. So in case of multi-phase flow models, so different kind of approaches will be there, that is Lagrangian and Eulerian approaches. So while dealing with the multi-phase models, again, I will show you a demonstration on that particular new tool, how we can uh, what are the inbuilt solvers are there, and if that particular solver for multi-phase flow model is not there, how we can compile and link that solver. So there's different kind of theory parties there. So first, we started with the glitch law system, and you can see that particular validation with some results. Uh, in this case, we took that particular, basically for the multi-phase flow, we first tried an experiment with the that with the single two-phase system. So two-phase system means that is there's a glycerol filled in that particular system, and air bubble is introduced in this. So it means it's a two-phase system. So at different volumes, and this is basically the water oil system. So we keep this bottom part as water, and we put paraffin oil on that particular top of the part. And this similar case, I'm trying to replicate. I'm trying to simulate in my work. So this is a water oil system we tried in our open form with the Rheological tool, but this is not basically the complex fluids. So complex fluids, we are in the trial process of dealing with that multi-phase flow system. That is compiling and running part is different. So this is basically this you can do with the open form simple also, and you can do in that Rheological also. So I will demonstrate you one case, that is a bubble rising using volume of fluid model. So I will come to that part. So my whole screen is visible, I think. I'm audible?
Yes, it's
Yes, sir.
audible.
Okay, sir. Okay. So this is basically, if you can see that this Linux is a window operating system. You can say you can install the Ubuntu. Different versions are there. So basically, I find these two Ubuntu versions are more compatible with the OpenFOAM. So I would like to start first with that problem of bubble rising dynamics here using VF model. So basically, this is a domain. So this domain is like a 2D kind of problem. And this red orangish part is a fluid, and this bluish part is basically the bubble, air bubble. So we can place this air bubble here also, here also, here also. That we can set accordingly in our open form. So basically, we are studying the dynamics of gas bubble rising in a static fluid column. So this is a one phase trapped inside. This is a one phase that is a air phase that is trapped inside another phase. That is water. This is basically the water air system. So this is a kind of a two phase system. So these are some governing equations and boundary condition. First one is the continuity and second is the momentum equation. The third one is basically the used for the phase fraction, which I will tell you what phase fraction is involved. That is alpha is there, and this is for the gravity term. And these are the some boundary conditions like for the left and right wall, and for the bottom we incorporated the no-slip boundary conditions and outlet as pressure outlet. And this is the basically a 2D problem. So first I will come to that Ubuntu 20. So I have this. This is when you click on this Ubuntu 20.02. So you will see this kind of interface in that. So this whole interface is for basically for the open form. If I give you a brief introduction regarding the open form, so first you have to come to the OPT. So this open form 9 is installed here, and this parallel view open form 56 is installed. That is for the post processing purpose. So your main files are in this particular folder. So it is having that applications. That is your solver. There are different kind of solvers are available. You can see the multi-phase solver is also available, but it is having some limited, if you see that multi-phase interform phase solver. It deals only with the two-phase problems, but not with the three-phase, multi-phase solve. More than two phases, it will not solve. So the different kind of solvers are there. Compressible interform solver is there. Compressible multi-phase interform solver there. Multi means it only restrict up to multi-phase also, but for not for the complex fluids actually. So different kind of like incompressible fluids is there. Then different kind of things are there. So utilities are there. Post processing, pre-processing, mesh kind of mesh is there. So the main thing is we don't disturb this part. Because if you want to make any corrections, like if you want to inbuilt your solver, so you can just copy this particular thing from here and put you can create a new folder in this case, and then you can make corrections, but don't do in these parts. So tutorial is available. So there different kind of tutorials are there. So whatever if you want to solve particular kind of thing, suppose if you want to solve a incompressible form or same thing, these are particular name of solvers. Like icoform is a solver. So there's a problem of cavity. So if you want to run this particular case, this is already a ready case. Just you need to run this. But if you want to run this case, you just copy from here and go to that home folder. After installation, this will create, and you can copy in this particular open form and make a run folder when you are like installing the things now. So you have this particular folder comes in, that is run folder, and you can paste it here. So after pasting this, you can make changes in this. So I will introduce you first regarding these three folders. Like zero folder, we have this will create by default. You can delete it, and this particular zero folder is for initializing the things. Like this is for pressure and this is for u, and this particular constant folder is defining the transport properties, and this particular system folder is for block mesh for control dict. different. You can change the mesh in this particular file. You can change the condition in this particular file. You can define the FE scheme, the FE solution in this case. So it depends. So you can modify case according to your need by only copying that particular case to this particular run folder. Don't make changes in that this OPT where the main files are there. So this tutorials. Don't make changes in that case. So first I will come to I have this particular case of bubble rising. You can see here also, I will come to come this after this review tool part. But first I will start by this demonstration of bubble rising case. So I have this bubble rising case. So I have these three folders: zero, constant, and system folders. So in zero folder, we have this pressure file, we have this velocity file, and we have this alpha.water file. This is basically we can see that this is uh, properties, or we are defining that properties of particular water alpha. So these are the boundary conditions. So it will give you that which version you are copying this for a particular open form you're using. Give their dimensions, initializing the fields. These are the boundary conditions on the left side, right side, bottom, and on the top we are implying the zero gradient. You can modify according to your problem. So this front and back type is empty because this is a 2D problem. So similarly, um, in the pressure file, you can see that there's a boundary conditions for left, right, bottom, top, and front and back. So we applied left on the left, right, bottom, and bottom fixed flux pressure, initializing with the uniform 0, and on the top there is a total pressure condition, and for the front and back it's empty because it's 2D problem. So similarly for the velocity, we incorporated on the top it is pressure inlet outlet velocity, and similarly as I shown you before, the bottom, left, right are no slip conditions, and front and back are the empty conditions. So here for the first step we initialize the things, and in the second part, sorry, I guess read out.
No, continue.
Okay. So this particular constant folder is basically for defining the properties of that particular fluid. So G here is the gravity term, and our bubble is rising. If you see that the bubble is rising on the upward direction, so we define this gravity term in the y direction. It's in minus 9.81. So momentum transport, we define the simulation type as laminar. We can place it as turbulent also. So in the transport properties, we have that Newtonian fluid. So water as we keep it as water as a Newtonian, air as Newtonian. So these are Nu is basically the viscosity, and this is rho is basically the density of that particular fluid. Sigma is basically defining the surface tension between these two fluids. So we can make changes in these particular files based on our problem. We can have, if we have that in three-phase cases, if we want to define oil, I can put oil here also, and I have to define that the properties for this particular oil in this similar way, in the bottom. So only the things work in like that. So after defining these things, in the system we have this block mesh dict file. In this we have vertices, blocks, edges, boundary conditions are there. So the whole we can say the lectures are available on these, how to create a mesh, or how you can create your own kind of meshes in that case. So this particular control dict file is the basic use for the solving the things. This particular interform is a solver, and we have defined the start time as 0, stop at end time, and end time we give it as 2. So the delta t we give at 0.001. So these are some things. we incorporated in this, and decompose part is no, it will not work here. In the FV scheme case, we have the DDT scheme as I earlier guess linear kind of things are there. So these are some solving the things, different kind of models. This one is the important part, that is a self-field dict file. So in this case, if I want to place, like I have to give a setup, like uh, initialize this thing. I have this particular 2D geometry in which I want to place this particular air bubble at some place. So in the previous case, I placed it at 0.5 meters from the bottom, and this proper height is of 2 meters. So accordingly, so by default, volume scalar field, first I initialize alpha dot water as 1. What it means that the whole domain is first filled with the water only. So velocity, we keep it as 0. So then in the next I want to introduce a bubble inside that particular domain. So we give the command scripting as cylinder to cell. So we give some points on the back and front faces. So we define that particular radius of that particular bubble, and then in the field value we defined it as alpha dot water is equal to 0, which means initially it was filled with water, and after giving cylinder to cell means this is particularly a air bubble. So in this case we have to keep this as 0 because air will take that part. Okay. So after fixing these things, you will see one file also, that is all run file. You can create it by own steps, and you can find that uh, you have to give commands in that way only. First, you have to see that block mesh, run that block mesh file. You have to fix that set fields and then the applications. So I will show you by running this. First, hmm, I will open my Ubuntu. And these are some commands you can you can learn, that is ls for listing the things, and you can see that all the things are which are available in my toolbox, that is available for opening this particular kind of thing. You need to give the command of cd, and first you can write that letter and tap place the tab, so it will open. Then ls, then your this thing, it will keep on opening the things, whatever in which whatever folder you want to enter into. So my case is this, I placed this my case as bubble rising case. So this is I will open it by cd, bubble rising case. So ls. So all the three folders are available. That is zero, constant, and system. So I can open these folders here also to check or modify the things. But for that case, you need to install the Genie software's Genie kind of notepad is available. You can install that, and you can open here also, and you can edit that particular file also. So in that case, your first command according to that all run is I want to run my mesh. So this is my block mesh. It will generate the block mesh. So this is your number of internal faces, consistency, how many cells are there, number of faces, number of cells are there. Okay. So next is you are having this um, original file is there. Alpha dot, this alpha dot border, that is the original file. So I don't want to make changes in this particular file. So I just copy this original file as that case CP. So I put this command as 0 alpha dot water dot org space 0 alpha dot water. So it will create another file in which if I want to make changes, I can. So now the fresh file has come. So after initializing this particular alpha dot water file, I initialize that like my particular domain is consist of this particular water in that rectangular block. So after that, I already defined the properties in this particular constant file. So after when I put that command of block mesh, so this poly mesh will be created. So this will having the number of boundary faces or neighbors it will define. So now um, I will give the command of set fields to initialize my things. So I have the capital and small letters plays a very important role in this. So I will initialize my set one things. So it will by default it will set my things alpha dot water u and where I place my bubble that is at 0.5 x y and z coordinate these kind of things. Okay, so for running this particular case, I already defined this particular solver in this thing. This is the interform. So I just simply copy this interform and put here. It will just run for 2 seconds. Whatever time steps you give in that particular control dict file, it will run up to that only. It ended now. You can simply see it by different commands like paraview, paraform. It depends on whatever the while installing that paraview, what term you put in your basic file. I will show you that also. But I will create one file like you can put that command touch dot whatever the your bubble name is bubble. You can place dot form. This is important. It will create a bubble.form folder in your file. So this one. So you simply need to open the paraview. This is a paraview for post processing the results. And I simply drag this particular folder into paraview and then apply. So it will come. So these are some parameters which we initialize that alpha dot water. So this will create a bubble and this run for 39 seconds and different time steps. So if I run, it this is not the error. Basically, it comes due to the improper installation of paraview. So I will put this off. It's not coming again. So it will look like that. So this particular bubble size is uh, not interface is not clear just because the mesh is not appropriate. So we can like modify or play with the mesh quality. We can play with the different like if I show you the mesh in this case. This is surface and you can see that wireframe by clicking on wireframe or you can see that surface with edges also. So this is your particular mesh. Meshing is there. So you can play with the mesh in this mesh quality with this. And there are different kind of things we can see. Like if I want to see that velocity contours in this case. So you can just click on apply Z normal, and you can see the velocity contours in this case. You can see the velocity contours. Similarly, a different kind of things are there. GILF is there, where you can see that um, gradient and contour is there. You can see the results by seeing the contours here. So you can play with the things for the demonstration, how the things will work. So this is basically the post-processing part. So I think I just want to show you one more thing. Rheological. So Rheological, in this case, Rheological, when you install Rheological in this case, there's a document file in which you are having this user guide. So user guide is open here. So this particular user guide is having all the information related to the Rheological, particular models which are available with you, and even it is having some demonstration cases which I early show you. You can follow these steps and run your particular case just for the basis. So this particular flow around a cylinder is a basic problem. You can solve by following these steps. You simply just need to copy that particular case in your own folder, and by doing these commands in your Ubuntu, you can solve this problem. So these are different kind of problems. I modified my case using this particular case. This is a droplet impacting droplet problem. So I just followed this particular geometry. I modified this particular domain, and I placed this ball air bubble on the bottom. So modification is up to you. You can modify accordingly. So this particular user guide will help you a lot. So for multi-phase flows, in the Rheological, there are two versions are available: OpenForm 7, compatibility with the OpenForm 7 and OpenForm 9. So it will work only with these two versions of OpenForm. Okay, so whatever while installing that OpenForm, you have this bash rc file. In this, while installing, you will see the steps. Like it will create these kind of things. You have to follow the steps from this. I will show you particular sites from where you can install the things. And this is basically for the installation of Rheological. This is the additional thing, and this is only for the OpenForm. So for that, in case of multi-phase fluids, uh, this particular case, if I want to replace this water oil system with the carbopol oil system or carbopol air oil system, three phases will be there. Carbopol, oil, and air will be there. So three phases which involve the non-Newtonian fluid or complex fluid. So in that case, this particular OpenForm will not work. So in this case, if you see in the view tool, if I open this solvers, there is no solver available for the multi-phase fluids. So in that case, I just need two-phase changes will be incorporated in here. But if I want to solve for more than two phases, then I just had a talk with this particular um, this. This is the solver, that is Rio multi-fluid interform. So this particular case, this particular solver is a new controls volume solver that can be used for simulation of non-Newtonian end phases, which involve the end phases, fully accounting for interfacial tension and contact and angle effects for each phases, which is already not inbuilt in the Rio tool. So we just need to clone this. We can clone by these steps. We can download this also. But I have the steps to like I contacted that person, who is a professor in some university in the Greece. So he gave me these steps which I follow. Um, so this was a particular folder he gave me to replace that, and this is the these are the steps he gave me to follow for compiling and linking that his particular solver for solving the phases which involved more than two phases. And I'm currently working on that, but lots of modification needed in that scripting. And well, means I think it will work, but that that needs the knowledge of basically the what you can say that C++ coding or scripting actually. So you need to just modify the things in your scripting part only. So this is the scripting part. Whatever is written, it's written in that particular solver kind of libraries. This is the constitutive equations. I need to make changes in this particular folder only. Constitutive equations, constitutive models are there, and these kind of scripting it is only having a C and H file. So this is a scripting. We can make changes in this files for modifying our solvers. So that's all. And I think I will like to show you some platforms from where you can have the like basic learnings of OpenFOAM. So this is a very good site, that is Engineering Fluid Dynamics. They offer some free courses also. And this particular department is at IIT Bombay in the aerospace engineering department. It's a very good platform for learning the OpenFOAM. They introduce different kind of projects, and they introduce different kind of workshops in that events where you can learn OpenFOAM on the free basis or on the some nominal charges also. So these are two basic platforms for OpenFOAM, from where you can install it for the different versions. So I installed it from this download OpenFOAM release history. You can check the release history also, and it is having a different versions are available starting from I think from one. Now it's come to 13. So you have to see the compatibility also from with which Ubuntu it's worked with. So this particular OpenFOAM 8, that is compatible with the 16, 18, or 20. So first you have to install Ubuntu in this version, and then you can download the OpenFOAM 8. So using these simple steps. So this by in Ubuntu Linux. So these are the steps you can follow directly as it is, and you can download the OpenFOAM. For you too. So I just shared one slide with you for installing that, and you just simply need, you can directly clone that also, and you can download the zip folder here from here also, and you can download the Rue tool, which is compatible only with the OpenFOAM 9 and 7. So this one is the modified